Hi everyone. So today we are going to start a new series on agents, and agents cannot do anything without tools. So let me first briefly describe what agents are and why they are such a big deal, why everyone is looking into that, and 2025 is called Year of the Agents. So agents have been there for past several decades now. They keep changing their meaning over time, but agent simply means something that can make some decision and that can act on the real world on its own, or fully autonomously or semi-autonomously with a human in the loop. So and agent term was very commonly used in computer research, in AI research, for past many years, but it has become a common, like even consumer now understand what agents are, what's the capability of agents. So, and in order to act on the real world, it needs tools. The tools can be API of a service that it wants to use. The tool can be some acquire information about the world. For example, if you are building a financial bot, you need to get the stock values over past few months and so on and so forth. So tools are core to any kind of agentic workflows that we'll discuss in subsequent videos. Here we will be looking at how we define tools, how we can call tools, and as I mentioned, I'll be looking into open source technologies, only working with open source technologies. So here we'll be using Ollama to load local model. I am using GPT 20 billion, GPT-oss has 20 billion. You can work with any model you like depending on your resources. And we'll also use LangChain implementation of Ollama class. It will be helpful because we will be using LangChain and LangGraph for agentic workflows, which will become useful in the next videos. Okay. So this video defines the best practice, how to define tools and how to use them. So it is a small demo. This is not an agent right now, but this is how tools should be defined and how tools are used. You will need few libraries, so if you don't have them, install them. You will need to pull GPT-oss model on Ollama. If you don't want GPT-oss, you don't have enough resources, feel free to work with any other model. Okay. So there are two ways for defining tools. One is with using tool decorator. Just tool decorator, this is a Pythonic way of defining tools. So LangChain will automatically parse the function name, and if there are any hints on how to create doc schema, tool schema here. Okay. The key rule here is that this is the kind of full manual or information that the LLM will read, so it needs to be extremely descriptive. And somehow get weather is the hello world tool that everyone talks about, so here it is. Like, this is the implementation of get weather tool. It takes a string of the location and unit, and then it comes up with the response where it says the weather of whatever location we give is 22 degrees, whatever unit we give. Okay, so very naive implementation of get weather tool for now. But you see, this is good for simplicity, but it has some problems. For example, the arguments types are not very well defined. The return types are not very well defined. It's up to us how we put this, like the explanation. There is no like fixed format how we define this information. Okay. The other and the recommended way for production system. So this is good for simplicity, and I'll highly recommend you use this for simple tools. Like, let's suppose you are having like some experimental tool, or you have a very simple tool that does something that is obviously understandable kind of thing. Use this way. The other way is to use decorator plus Pydantic. Okay, so this is how you define complex tool. We'll use Pydantic schemas to define in very strict form what are the types of each parameter, what are the types of the return also can be defined in similar way. And this works, other than that, this works the same way that the simple tool works. Okay, let me show you how it looks. So you see here we define a class. This is for now the input class, but as I said, if we want, we can also define a similar class for the return. That will be what the tool will be returning back. And location here, it is fixed string, and then we describe what the location is, how it should be defined, and then the unit. Okay, we clearly define it as a string, and compared to this where we actually did not define the type of the variables. Okay, and then we have like the schema. We define the schema as a class. We have the same tool decorator. We define the a function name that will be used, and so on and so forth. Okay, so, and this is the tool where we can check the output. So let me run this. Actually, yeah, we'll not be using this. This will come in the next video. We'll be using simple tools, but let me focus on this for now. Here, okay, so current weather, get current weather is defined successfully. Okay, so get weather.name, this is where the name comes from. And then it becomes super simple for us to define tool, and classes like chat Ollama, or even if you're using proprietary models, they make it really easy. They hide all the complexity behind this. So what we have to do is we have to define the client side chat Ollama. We define the model that we are dealing with. We suppose the Ollama server is running on the back end, and we define temperature, whatever format. So format defining JSON sometimes help because we want our output to be JSON in tool for tool calling. And when we define the JSON as the format, it does something called constraint decoding, where it does not allow generating any token that break JSON format. So this can really be helpful. I'll talk about constraint decoding in another video. And bind the tools to the LLM. This is where we tell the large language model what are the tools. It's not doing actually anything very fancy. It's just telling LLM the description of our tool, and subsequent to this, whenever LLM invoke will be called, it will send all the tool information to the server, to the LLM model. That's it. That's what it is doing. So nothing fancy is going on in the bind tool thing. So it will just communicate the schema appropriately in the invoke request. So, and let's try how it works. So what is the weather in New York? And the response will be the LLM will return a tool call, and let's see what it is. Okay, so this we are calling yeah, okay, so model response, and a lot of information that is not useful for us. Let's find yeah, tool calls. Okay, so tool calls. So it asked us to call a tool called get current weather and pass the arguments where location is New York and unit is Fahrenheit. Okay, so this is generated by the large language model, in this case GPT-oss 20 billion. It understands our request, it knows what tools are available, it found a tool that is relevant to our request, and it basically sent this call. And now it is up to us to call that tool, and for that we'll be executing this tool. So simply go through all the tool calls in the response. So now we are not interested in response.content, we are interested in response.tool calls. Okay, we go through all the tools one by one, and we basically invoke the tools here. Okay, And let's see. Yeah, calling the tool get current weather, location New York, and it returns the weather in New York is 22 degrees Fahrenheit, which is actually true, surprisingly, although this was supposed to be a dumb tool. But anyways, jokes apart. So this is very easy, like how you can simply create new tools. You can create calculator tool, you can create get weather, get financial information tools, and so on and so forth. So we work with GPT-oss as 20 billion. You can use something else, and we just need tool decorator. Either do Pythonic way, which is easy but have limitations, or Pydantic way, which is a little bit more sophisticated, but it's always best to do in the production system. And then we looked at bind tools, and we made it work. We actually ran an example. It was pretty simple, right? But very useful. So this is the base of all the agentic systems. Okay. Thank you.